In this video, I'll just give you some reasons, not many, as many as I can, some reasons why science is better than religion. And not just religion, but a lot of these, ideologies, liberal, conservative, social justice warrior stuff and all that type of stuff, science is superior. It's just my opinion, obviously, it's just my opinion. But let's face facts, science is superior. And of course, this is my archaeological study Bible. Apologetics. This is the archaeological study Bible I used to have, the everyday Bible. And then, of course, this one here, the King James, which is the only one I used to read from, mainly. But, I have a degree in molecular biology and biochemistry. So molecular biology, biochemistry. We had to take a lot of genetics. As you can see, that's obviously not the only course I took. And I remember, right now I'm not going to, let's do religion in a second though. I was watching this thing on YouTube. This dumb lady, was, there's so many different genders, blah, 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 none of us are geneticists, blah, blah, blah. She's running her mouth, about this stuff. And some people don't just have double X chromosome, XY, some people have 3 X chromosomes. Yeah, and they have birth defects. They have certain mental problems. Those are genetic problems, genetic disorders. XXY, XYY, but still, you're going to be born either a male or a female. I don't care what these social justice warriors try to claim. Now, you could have several gender identities. You can be a male and believe you're a female, feel that you're a female, or be attracted to other males or whatever, however. I can understand that. That, there's some basis for it. But the science does not back up, there's more than 2 genders. No, there is not. But, as religion, why is it that science is better than religion? Well, think about it this way. Religion makes a lot of claims. They can't back up none of their claims. In science, we have to do research, peer review. To get in a peer-reviewed journal, you know how difficult that is? These religious folks, they just hold up their Bible. This is the perfect, inerrant, perfect holy word of God. It's historically and scientifically accurate. And no matter what information you give them, how much evidence you give them, they will never deny that. Yeah, you may say, they're liberal Christians. Yeah, but come on, let's face facts. Those liberal Christians, they really believe that stuff that they're touting, that they're learning? Do they really, truly believe it? Or they just they just can't take that next step and admit that, hey, maybe God's not real? And that's another thing that leads me to. This is how science, another reason why science is better. As scientists, we'll tell you, like for example, the Big Bang model. We'll say this is the best model we have right now for how the universe began, It could be wrong. I could be wrong. As scientists will say, I could be wrong. And they're open to new information. Religious people are not. The social justice warriors, liberals, conservatives, they are not. If a person is a conservative, they're conservative. I don't care how much information or whatever the situation is, you can give them whatever information you want. Like, for example, in this book here, a lot of the things he says make sense. It made sense to me. A conservative person is not going to read this book and, care, especially if they're a racist. And this guy doesn't seem to support that white privilege nonsense. Because think about it. If you tell a white guy that lives in a trailer park all his life, that's been abused by his parents, has been around drugs, that, hey, you got privilege because you're white. Yeah, good luck convincing him, and turning him to your cause. Good freaking luck. Seriously. And that's an example pretty much that he used. I added the drugs and stuff, though. But you remember this guy here with this, in 5 days we're going to fundamentally transfer America. He did a very good job breaking us apart from when it comes to race. He did a very good job. Let's face it, racism has increased since he became president. And in this book, now see, that's the thing. In this book, he mentions black on white crime, white on black crime. He claims that blacks are more likely to be, victims of hate crimes. However, this is why I like science. The thing is, though, usually when whites are attacked by blacks, even if it was a black woman, which some of you may have saw on the news, says, hey, I hate white people, I want to kill white people, and then attacks a white woman, and she still won't get charged with a hate crime. You remember those knockout games? They don't get charged with hate crimes, even though they purposely targeted whites. If it was scientifically based, they would have to go through peer review. So same with the wage gap stuff. All this stuff these social justice warriors tout. All these liberals, these conservatives, everything they tout, these politicians, it would have to go through peer review. Think about that. And they would have to be able to back up their claims. Can a politician back up anything they say? Of course not. They just lie to you. Trump, Hillary, all of them. These religious folks. That's the reason why science is buried in religion. Think about it. They tell you, religious folks will tell you, well, without God, life is meaningless and pointless, and but they can't prove that there's life, if there's life after death. They don't know. Scientists isn't going to tell you, well, there's absolutely no God. There's absolutely nothing after death. There could be. It's unlikely. But based on the evidence we have so far, it's very unlikely that there's a God. It's very unlikely there's anything after death. Very unlikely. So they give you false hope. Do you really want to cling to false hope, or do you want to live your life knowing that, hey, this is the only life you have? I better love my spouse or my lover. I better love my children, and try to succeed in this world and help others succeed. Because if you help others succeed, then they'll help you succeed. Unfortunately, there's too many jerks, too many of these type of people in this world. He's a very big believer in that critical race theory, which I just recently purchased a book on critical race theory. The book will come in from Amazon. I'm going to read it. I will do a review of it. I don't know enough of it. I know enough that they seem to think that whites have this thing where they're purposely keeping down minorities. It doesn't matter to these people that if you look up, you can see that most scholarships and grants are for minorities. They have a better chance of getting to graduate school than anyone else. You may ask, than whites. You may ask, why am I saying science is better than religion, and of course then including political ideology? Because let's face it, both of them spout stuff without evidence. And I'm not right about everything I'm saying. I urge you, please check what I say. But at least a scientist will tell you, that whatever they are telling you, that whatever theory. Please look up what a scientific theory is. These religious folks do not have a clue with theories. They confuse theory with fact. Theory with hypothesis. That Pence guy, Aaron Ra, did a great video on that, discrediting that fool. And of course, the Armored Skeptic does a very good job explaining this Islam thing, but I'll put that in another video, and I'll give a link to his video and that video. The Islam nonsense. Because all religions are the same, basically. They're all based on nothing. They have no evidence for any of their claims. Actually, a lot of everything that in this book, in the Bible, Quran, or any other holy book that can be verifiable, that you can try to verify, has failed. Now, when I say science, I mean science, technology, engineering, mathematics. Those programs, STEM programs. Because you have to basically back up your claims in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. You may say, well, how about history? Well, history can be manipulated. Who knows really? You don't know how much it's being manipulated. I would trust a historian much more than I would a preacher, or a politician, or a social justice warrior, or a Donald Trump type person. Science is, as of now, science is the best way to get knowledge. It's best if you follow the how a scientist does it. You're willing to read books that disagree with your viewpoints. Read anything, even religious books. Even if you're an atheist, read religious books. Read the stuff that they have, you know. Go to the swordoftheLord.com. Go and buy some of Ray Comfort's books. You know, get these books like the Federalist Papers and, you know, Thomas Paine and, of course, Karl Marx, you know, the Communist Manifesto and all these other things. You know, read, learn science. Learn ideologies you disagree with. I mean, I just got a book on critical race theory. I mean, come on, I disagree with it. From what I know about stuff, we're going to read it because maybe they have some points. Because social justice warriors, I admit, they have some decent points. The problem with social justice warriors is they kind of make anyone who wants social progress look like nuts because they think of social justice warriors. But as I'm saying, science, at least science, they have to go through peer review. They have to actually show how they got their results. You can't say, oh, everything evolved. Okay, prove it. Show it. So you can say, well, all the continents are moving because it looks like a giant jigsaw. Because there was a geologist, I wish I could remember his name, but he's the one that came up with the plate tectonic theory, that the plates, the continental plates, are moving. He couldn't exactly demonstrate it, so it did not become mainstream science. Most scientists thought it was nothing. They just didn't take it seriously. They didn't think it was credible. Because you couldn't prove that the continents were moving. You couldn't see it. Yeah, you could look at a globe and see, you know, the continents put together, but that could just be coincidence. But then in the 60s, after a lot of experiments, they realized plate tectonic theory is correct. That's exactly how science works. Just because you come up with something that may be factual, if you can't just demonstrate it, then, you know, sorry. And I like Aaron Ross' comment, you know, science does not know everything, but religion knows nothing. And you could say that same thing with any ideology too, you know. Because, you know, no matter what your beliefs, if you're a liberal or a conservative, you're not 100% right. And a lot of things you believe about the other side is not right. Feel free to get yourself educated. Learn. I know people hate that, you know, learning, educating, eating themselves. That's like something, you know, people seem to really get scared if you tell them to read and look things up and, you know, check things out on their own. They really, really do not want to do that. That is something that is like a big no-no for them. And I can assure you that science, astronomy, biology, all these subjects, and, you know, learn logic, take critical thinking skills, you know. Get that book, Thank You for Arguing, you know. Learn astronomy, geology, earth science, you know, microbiology, physical science. There's so much stuff out there to learn, you know. Don't sell yourself short on one ideology, you know, only wanting to learn what you want to learn. And look up confirmational bias. This book does a very good job explaining confirmational bias. But basically it's like this. I'll tell you basically. Let's just say that I believe that Obama was the worst president ever. I do not believe that he was the worst president ever, okay? Just so you know. But let's just say I think that he's the worst president ever, okay? And that blacks are too stupid to be president. Let's just say that is my belief. Okay, anytime I catch him in a lie, which he does a lot because he's a politician, they all do it. Anytime something he does turns disastrous, I will notice it because that's what I believe about this guy. However, the good things he does, I'm going to ignore it. And to put it with race, because it works well with race. If I believe that blacks are stupid, you know, and pathetic, and, you know, all lazy and all this stuff, and they're criminals, well, guess what? That's what I'm going to notice. And if one black person commits a crime, I'm going to put that, well, all blacks are criminals and blah, blah, blah. That's just how they are. They're this and that. You know, that's just how black people are. When a white person does it, I won't even notice it. I won't even comment. Or I'll say, that white person is white trash. That white person is just, a criminal and all that stuff. When a black person does it, all blacks are this and that, blah, blah, blah. Because I already have it in my mind that blacks are criminals, that blacks are bad. I do not go deeper and find out why it seems like blacks are more likely to be involved in crime. That's why I strongly suggest you read books such as this, especially if you are one of those people who do think black people are more prone to crime. Please read that book. There's just so much out there to learn. And religious people I feel sorry for more than any other group, because they really have no real knowledge. If you really if you go to a church, especially a fundamentalist church, they don't really know anything. They think they know a lot, but they do not. They only know what their preacher tells them, which is so sad. They know anything the preacher tells them they know. And the preacher don't know nothing. Trust me, I've been to a fundamentalist Baptist independent church. They talk about evolution. Oh, it's just a theory. They don't even know what a theory is. And everybody in the church is nodding their head in agreement. Sad. It's just so sad when you walk into a church and you see these things. Science is the best way we have right now of gaining new information. The scientific method, the way science works. Please learn how science works, how peer review and all that stuff works. You'll understand why I am saying that science, as of now, the way science works, is the best way to get knowledge. And it's not, people bring up these hoaxes in the past. Or the Nebraska man, in evolution, they try and discredit evolution. First off, no scientist believed it. But let's say that they did. Okay, let's just say that a large group of scientists did. Well, today, if someone brought that tooth up, it would have to go through peer review, and it would not pass peer review. That's what I'm talking about today, 2016. Well, for free to like and subscribe, for free to watch any of my other videos, for free to leave a comment. Thanks.